Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Abdul Wakil Nazari, and you guys are watching Abdul Wakil Nazari YouTube channel. Now, today we'll talk about effective business communication. And effective business communication, we will focusing on various topics. Today, and our focus is all about in two topics. That is about process of communication and group of mass communication. Now, our focus will be on these two topics, process of communication and group of mass communication. Now, the very first that we will talk about introduction of communication. When we talk about introduction of communication, first of all we'll introduce what does communication mean and where it comes from. Now, the word communication is derived from a Latin word. It means that communicare, right? Which means to make common, or to share, or transmit, or to impart. From the word, it is clear that to share, or transmit, or to impart. Right? Now, thus, communication can be considered as a process that involves the transfer of information. Yeah, definitely. Communication is what? It is a way of transferring of information, your ideas, your own emotions, feelings, etc. between two people, right? Between people, not two people, between people. Now, it is the way of transferring your information, ideas, and emotions. Business communication differs from other types of communication, not by it means the communicating by but by its objectives. Definitely. So when you say that business communication, so the business communication differs. It is completely different from other types of communication. Right? So it's different from its objective. So the communications are different from its own objective. Whenever you're communicating with someone with a different objective, it means that the communication is your objective is different. So only objective can make the difference in communication. Now, in here we are discussing about business and business terms. In a business point of view, it means that our communication is a business. This communication is different in here. If you're talking about in other place about in other types of communication with other purpose, so that is different. So now in here, that's why it's different from other types of communication. Now, components of communication we have. In components of communication we have sender. Sender we can also call encoder. Sender, simple term, we can say that in simple term we can sender, but in a business we can call encoder. Sender is a person who sent a message. Right? Sender is a person who sent a message. So through which, now medium means a channel through which way of sending your message to a person or receiver. Now, through email, you send a message through email, through call, through a letter. So how you can? So you have through what type of medium you have used for sending a message. Now, receiver, you can also call for receiver decoder. Receiver decoder is another word for the receiver. So receiver, whatever a sender send a message through which channel receiver receiving, definitely he will give positive or negative. So that will be response. But in response we have another word, that is feedback. So definitely the receiver will give a feedback to who? The sender. It might be a positive or negative. The communication process, look, we have two in here: the sender's field of experience, receiver's field of experience. Now, senders, while sending a message through her experience, right? Receiver, while receiving the message and analyzing, interpreting, So on the basis of his or her experience, after sending or receiving, the next will be that, like the sources of sender. Encoding, it means chain. What channel used? That sending of message. Decoding or receiving. Now after the receiving, decoding to receiver. After the receiver, now receiver, whatever, to response or feedback. In here it may be a noise between the responding and feedback. There is a noise. Noise means that we have maybe the feedback, the positive or negative. Now let's have a look at feedback. Now feedback is the response or reply which the receiver of a message gives back to the sender. Is it clear? The word is clear that whatever a sender, whatever a receiver receives and responds, that's called feedback to the sender. Sometimes it's possible to get feedback immediately. Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it's possible. Maybe on the spot you'll get the feedback. Right? On the spot you'll get a feedback, or maybe you'll take a week. So it depends on the business. Right? It might be depend on the business to business. Feedback can be immediate, as in the case of face-to-face in communication. Yeah. In the later, it may take days, but in face-to-face feedback, it will not take any days. It will not take. So it will be immediate response. In the case of face-to-face, you will get immediate response. Now next, first we have studied about cross-sub communication. Now we study about the group and mass communication. Now what do you mean by group and mass communication? Definitely group means and mass both have same meaning. Now in here, group and mass communication means with a large number of communicators. Like when you communicate with the large numbers, it's called what? Mass communication. Now with a large number of, when you're just communicating with a large number of people, right, it's called mass communication. Like how? We can say that mass communication is the academic study of how individuals and entities relay information through mass media and to large segment of a population at the same time. Clear or not? How individual and entities relay information through mass media at the same time. Individual rely on the same time. Now it is usually understood that relate. Now definitely a newspaper company, like I say, issuing a newspaper. So how individual is issuing a newspaper, so all the people are relying on this and relating to the newspaper or magazine, publishing, now radio, broadcasting, televisions. A lot of people having viewers, film, cinema. These are used both for disseminating news and for advertisement. Definitely for delivering news or for advertising purpose to engage the people. Forms of mass communication. What are the forms? What are the forms of communication? So how people communicate? How people communicate with the mass, with one another in a large number? Like for number one, that is about broadcast. I mean, broadcasting in here means that through televisions they communicate, they transfer the information to a large number of the people through broadcast. Films. A large number of watching movies, so they are transferring their information. That might be social, or entertainment. Mobile. Through mobile they are sharing a lot of information. I mean through radio, television, radio, through radio. The previous is all about, that is electronic. Now in here we have print media. So how they are communicate with a number of people? Through magazines, through newspaper, and as well as through books. These are the ways that they are transferring information to people. Information there through these newspaper, magazines, books. People trying their transferring the information. Advertisement is also a way of transferring information through a large media, or also is a way of communicating with the mass, as most people are, is also, we can also call a mass communication. Advertising is a common typographic error. Advertising is a form of communication and for marketing and used to encourage or persuade audience. Definitely. Why we do advertising? Why a company advertising its product to the market? Definitely. For their first priority is what? For persuading people or audience to view, for viewers, readers, listeners, and sometimes for a specific group to continue to take some new actions. Definitely, if a company advertising something in the market, they're persuading people or viewers, readers, listeners to come and take an action. The action might be in terms of money or in terms of support. Now, in here we have a golden opportunity of sale. Now, in here, CGOS is a company, a golden, now in here, GOS, a golden opportunity sale. Attention. Now in here, there's two advertising in here we have. They're persuading people. Advertising is actually using for persuading people to come and take an action. In the last, the conclusion is that for these two, mass communication and cross communication, is with the help of the following topics we came to know how communication is important in our day-to-day life. Is it clear or not? I perceive that it's clear that what today, with the help of whatever we have, the communication, with the help of the following topics, it's very important how communication is very important in day-to-day life. Communication is said to be effective only when the message received by the receiver is understood and as intended by the sender, and accordingly act by the receiver. Clear or not? Whatever a message is sent, the communication is said to be effective when a receiver received and understood and acted upon the by its and act accordingly act accordingly. Accordingly act by the receiver. Then we can call that as the effective communication. The mass communication is said to be a media communication, the newspaper, books, etc., and the forms of mass communication. Now, we can also call that newspaper and books are also a form of mass communication. It means that these are also a form of mass communication. Many people ignore these things because they can say these are not a mass communication. No, but these are a part of the mass communication. In conclusion, we can say that mass communication, said to the media communication, is the newspaper and books are also connect with the mass communication. So, and today's lecture is that's all up to here. I hope you understand and you learn and I welcome. Okay, and thank you for your watching. Thanks a lot. Thanks you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe or my channel and follow my Facebook page. Thank you for your watching.